welcome to Nish for Me, brand new podcast where we're going to examine the ins and outs of British Jewish culture. We'll cover the fun stuff, the mad stuff, batshit crazy stuff, and occasionally the sort of serious and sad stuff. I'm Aaron.
I'm Abby, or some people call me Abigail. Depends how familiar they are with me. But...
We'll get into who we are properly in a minute, but first up, what's Nisht for me? What does it mean?
Nish for me is quite simply not for me in Yiddish. And it's actually something I say far too often in rooms where maybe not everybody has the understanding of Yiddish.
In Yiddish, it's like a face rather than a word.
Just a sense of disgruntlement, I think. Yeah. And probably speaks to the fact that we might have quite a few opinions.
Yeah. So to properly introduce ourselves, though, let's get into our stats. So I've put some top trumps together, some Nish for me top trumps.
I love your smile in that picture because there is a sense of irony, but maybe it's just pure pride.
We'll get to what that actually is, the picture, in a moment. But we start with Shtetl of origin. Where were you born and grew up, basically? I've got Prestwich.
Do you want to contextualise Prestwich in any way?
I don't.
Without
I think
people who live there.
Well, we could have had a large proportion of Manchester now. I grew up in Prestwich, very proud of it. In pure top trumps terms, I think Prestwich would trump Shtetl as a Shtetl of origin. It's
definitely
more of a Shtetl.
Well, Shtettl's got a John Lewis, which is, Middle England Mecca.
So... Prestwich now has a Gales and a Rudy's then.
Who doesn't have a Gales? Jeez.
Ian Tussey, friend of the show, Ian Tussey, now refers to Altrincham as the Prestwich of the South, since it's had a Gales and a Rudy's. So Prestwich is North Manchester. So it's the sort of heart of from or kind of observant Jewry in Manchester.
Yeah.
And then Shtetl is obviously South
Shtetl
Manchester.
South. It's where the Jews who got out of the North Manchester Shtetl settled.
But I think there is.
Is there?
I think there's an affinity between Shtetl and Prestwich.
Yeah.
Defects. This is where it gets interesting. I've got defective vision, defective guts, and riddled with paca, which is recent news, but I think I'm dealing with it well. There's not a lot you can do, Abs, is what I've found out.
Right.
It's just good to know.
Okay. Not sure.
It's quite a downer to start thinking out, but hey, we're being positive about it.
Wait till we get to my dead parents' house.
We can pick this up off the floor. What are your defects, Abs?
Well, I am an uber schwitzer. I mean, it's like every picture of my wedding does involve some sort of mechanical fan, much to my mother-in-law's disappointment. A bit vommy and a bit gassy, and I really don't know why I did not use this tagline in my JDate profile when that existed, because I would have raked them in.
Okay, so here we get to the crux of it there. So this is where the pictures come in, is Hamisher flex. Hamisher... For any non-Jewish...
Do you think that phrase has ever been used before, ever?
Hamisher flex. I hope that it's ours.
Yeah, I'd like to think
but yeah, it could well have been, I don't know. I only saw flex recently. I think I saw someone say weird flex. Weird flex, I can do this. And I thought, we can have that.
Make it all right.
Just put a weirder word in front of it. So Hamisher is very Ashkenazi, but it's very it's like Jewish, Yiddishy, Jewishy. Yeah. So in my picture there, you will see that I'm the proud winner of Hale's 1998 Shul Attendance Prize.
Do you want to mention who's bestowing the prize upon you?
The young Theodore Herzl. Now that is Rabbi Joel Portnoy, but he was the rabbi of Hale Shul for a long time. It's ludicrous that this is a flex because I had no say in whether I attended Shul. So every Shabbos we had to go to shul with my dad. So to get a trophy for that, it feels like it was his trophy. It did live in the the living room actually, which we couldn't really go into, the sort of smart living room. So it lived on the mantelpiece in there.
Plastic covers on the couches?
No. And
am I thinking that trophy is shaped like the Ten Commandments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Weirdly, that picture is on Rabbi Portnoy Top Trumps as well. That's the one he chose for his profile picture.
You were his proudest protege.
Proud for him as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what's going on there. That's the. I think yours is a bit more glamorous, to say the least.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe because it took me until age 39 to achieve to match your achievement.
That's an early adopter.
No, last year I took part in Manchester Maccabi, which is how do you describe Maccabi?
It's the sports. It's like a sports charity, Jewish sports charity. So
and they do the Strictly competition where they get regular plebs like me to sign up and train like for 6 weeks or so with a professional ballroom dancer, and then compete. And I have to say, like the actual show, I can still remember the sort of talking of being vommy. Like I did think I was going to be sick. It was really nerve-wracking.
Do you know what though? It was a great show. I was in the audience with some of the other supporters.
That's very sweet,
and it was good fun. You did win the audience. You were the audience winner rather than the judges winner.
Fantastic, Emily won the judges' vote. I absolutely deserve it.
I mean, I didn't mean to put you down by saying it was the audience winner. I mean, the judges. I'm not sure many of the judges were that qualified.
How dare you?
2 people with very little dance experience, and then 2 people who knew what they were.
Yeah.
Talking about audience winner's great. That's like a popularity though.
And in that shot is me looking at my then, how old was she? Was she 6 or 5 then? I can't remember. But my daughter, she genuinely didn't know the difference between that and the real Strictly Come Dancing. She when they just have absolutely no concept of how low rent this was, although it was in a fantastic theatre actually. So we were all glammed up to the nines.
Yeah, and some serious sequins.
But her reaction was the best thing ever. She just couldn't believe it. It was very sweet.
Okay, so fairly even playing field at the moment. Should we get on to neuroses?
It wouldn't be a Jewish podcast without.
Okay, my big one. Just got to own it. Privilege. Had a very nice education. Oxford University graduate, but will never achieve as much as my grandpa who came here with nothing, having survived 8 concentration camps, including Auschwitz, which is very much the Oxford of concentration camps.
I don't know if you can laugh at that. I don't know. We'll work on whether.
I think he'd approved it. He would have approved of that. What about you, Abs?
Big sigh. Well, yeah, I've got this constant low-level terror that I'm fucking up my children. Anyone else?
Yeah.
But mine is unique in that I actually also had a very privileged upbringing and went to a very high-achieving girls' school. And a friend of mine who went to that school always says, I can write a thesis on how Withington girls, which is the name of my school, Withington, and motherhood just don't mix. It was just like type A personalities who want to control everything. And it turns out, from conception onwards, you can't control the thing about children, and it's been a real learning curve. And yeah, there's the added dash of bereavement. Having lost both of my parents by the time I was 37. Yes, we can get into that another time, perhaps.
It's a laugh a minute, this show, isn't it? Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess we've given a few hints of quick Nisht for me's down here as well. I've got smoked salmon, schmaltz.
I actually didn't know that about you.
Yeah, it's one of those things I don't like. It annoys me that I don't like smoked salmon.
Why?
I think because it's very Jewish.
You feel you're letting down the team.
Nish for me, parenting. I love my kids, as you know. It's fucking hard work.
Yeah. Somebody once quoted their friend to me that said, I love my children, hate childcare. And I think, yes, I think that's hit the nails on the head. For me, skimming fat of chicken soup. I mean, I say this as though I'm like some bubbler making chicken soup every week. I could count on one hand how many times I've made chicken soup, but each time I think, fuck me, life's too short to skim this fat.
Do the cling film.
Yeah, your wife did advise me on that, but I have to go through like a roll of cling film unless I'm trying to be overly perfectionist.
I think maybe you're taking out too much fat.
Maybe, and I'm contributing to the climate crisis. Restaurants you can't book. I mean, who wants that? Who wants to queue?
That's a very good example of one outside of like Jewish. Like that's just how it crossovers into life.
What Nish for me is.
Yeah. Like, I'm with you.
And giving birth, yeah. I mean, the first words out of my mouth when I gave birth to my second child were, which fucking idiot does that for a third time? It was a magical moment. Literally the first word.
I love how you've shared that with a lot of people who've had a third kid though.
Oh my God. I just always want to say, like, but why? Which I don't think is the right reaction.
Well, no, it's your reaction. It's authentic. It's authentic to you.
More than 2 children is nished from me.
Fair.
And Baruch Hashem, I've got 2 lovely, healthy children, and that fills my cup up.
So, okay, there is a very long-winded version of Nish for me top trumps. that sort of gives an idea of who we are individually. Who are we together, Abigail?
I mean, I actually don't remember the first time we met, but you have only just told me about this in preparation for the show.
Yeah, I vividly remember meeting you for the first time. And so it was a friend of the pod, Adam Levine, is how I met you and most South Manchester people. I think
big South Manchester connection.
So I moved here when I was like 10. My mum knew Shmad's mum. Shmad's is Yiddish for Adam Levine. And I think it was Emma, his sister's batshit, when we first met in here. I think it was in their garden. And you came over as sort of force of nature. Hello, I'm Abigail. But it wasn't like, oh my God, who's this lunatic? Get around my face. It was very much like,
I don't want to fraternise with Cheadle people. Only hail from this point.
Yeah, force of nature, but not in a sort of annoying way. It was like, oh, this is fun.
You know, this is actually, fast forward however many years, my mum used to say when I was perpetually single for a while, do you think maybe you're a bit too much for them? And maybe...
I wasn't put off by it.
Well, that's because you're man enough to take it.
There were other people there who... we've been really strict with each other. We're not allowed to be bitchy on this or name people that we're being bitchy about.
I'm trying to read from your eyes who you're referring to.
I don't know how to spell with my face.
I was going to say I feel really bad that I don't remember that meeting, but the next step in our relationship will make you feel worse.
Still haunts me. Yeah, genuinely.
So it should.
Do you want to talk us through that?
So
how you remember
it was a friend of the pod. When is this going to get old? Jessica Shock.
For us, never. For anyone listening, probably already.
Well, maybe it's just us. Jessica Shock and Jennifer Lazarus's disco.
Right.
It was a
church hall kind of thing.
There was some sort of
hall, community hall linked to a church,
and some sort of schmuckling was going on. There was deals were made where Aaron Forster was going to pull Abigail Radner. And I don't know for any kids listening, do they use the word pull?
I don't know.
It just means a kiss. It doesn't mean
French kiss. French kiss.
So romantic.
Le kiss français.
And then there was like and we went to some sort of back room.
Yes.
Surrounded by about 30 kids.
I think there was someone timing. Genuinely, I think Louis Rosenthal was timing. Friend of the pod. Louis Rosenthal. Our first transatlantic listener, maybe? First transatlantic mention. They live in Miami now, Abs.
Oh, lovely. Yes. And there was some tongue action. And then I remember bolting it because really I was probably 11 and maybe not ready for that kind of...
I was more experienced. It wasn't my first kiss.
It wasn't your first kiss?
Did you not know that?
Oh my God.
Not my first kiss. Sorry, Abs.
No. Who was your first kiss?
Katie Rappaport, who was the year below, friend of the pod. Also, second transatlantic mention.
Yeah.
Real global appeal.
Yeah.
Everybody I've ever... You're the only one still here.
Still here.
That's not the bit I get queasy about.
It was a big name around town, Aaron Forster, the Presswich transfer. And I distinctly remember talking about it in PE.
Right.
Because obviously I wasn't doing any actual physical exercise, I was just yachning. And mentioning it. And then somebody, who shall remain nameless, said with kind of... You could tell that she was waiting for a moment, said, well, he did go around saying that he regretted it. Yeah. Yeah, but it was a life lesson. I don't think it was nothing about... Oh, God.
Deep breaths. I still hate... I think I said that to one person, but it wasn't to do with you, Abs. Wow. I think it was more that I had a crush on someone there, and I think it was that I regretted that maybe I had ruined my chances there.
Loose lips all round.
Anyway, I felt awful and still feel awful about that. It's one of those things where you just think, oh, what a little twat.
But we've got over it.
Yeah, I think we've come out stronger. Also, I'm not sure this is a defence, that I was at the peak of my social powers at this time. I peaked early, and I think I was full of myself. I'd recently been the swimming captain of KD Juniors. So I was a jock. I think it's fair to say.
Can we do Jewish jocks exist? I don't know.
Do swimming jocks exist? I think is another flavour of that. But after that we did what? Habonim?
We did. Habonim Draw. Socialist Zionist Cultural Jewish Youth Movement.
I think that did sort of solidify for years of summer camp, basically.
Yeah.
Which I guess is more known to, I remember throughout school and stuff, being like, oh, you know, like chatting to non-Jewish friends and stuff, and they'd be like, oh, what are you doing over the summer? It's like, I'm going to camp, like Jew camp.
Yeah.
I think like camp was it's quite an American thing.
Yeah.
But for a lot of Jewish people with lots of different youth movements, ours was the socialist one in town.
And just to clarify, there wasn't like a day camp thing, so like a sleepover camp, where the first few days would actually be camping under canvas in smaller groups, which, you know, I remember when we got to be at the leader level, taking a group of 14-year-olds up a mountain somewhere, not up a mountain, a small hill in France. It was quite stressful. I remember thinking my friend Stephanie, not Jewish, was lying on a sun lounger in Mallorca. And I was like, why the fuck am I not doing that? But we kept going back.
Stuck with it.
It was great. It was brilliant,
I
actually.
then bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. I remember your bat mitzvah. Obviously,
Yes,
that I came.
I do. Where was yours? Yours at the Midland?
Yeah, which is a ludicrous sentence. But it was sort of the done
Where I got married.
thing. Where you got married, yeah. But they were these weird sort of black tie dinner dances. Oh, yours, I remember, was in a lovely marquee in your garden.
It was a barbecue.
You were 12, so it was the year before. And my overriding memory of mine is that there was a I don't know if this is still done, I hope it's not for the sake of any bar mitzvah boys, but there was a trend for the bar mitzvah boy to have a first dance with his mum, which is awkward enough. I mean, first of all,
please God, by me when my son.
well, the day before, you've had to sing from the Torah in front of everyone you know, and then you've got to dance with your mum. It was, so what, it would have been 1998. She chose "Can You Feel the Love Tonight," Elton John, because that's appropriate. And we're stood there. It's bad enough. It's awkward. It's horrible. Everybody's like round in a circle. And the opening refrain comes in, and all I could hear was, "I can see what's happening." And they don't have a clue. The DJ had played the wrong version, the Disney version, and we had to sort of stand there as Timon and Pumbaa.
I just really like the idea of you and Shelley, just acting it out. You could have just rolled with it.
Oh, God. Again, that's another thing that's like, I feel like I've gone inside myself. Certain parts.
Thanks for sharing.
No problems. We're sort of 14 at this point. We're now 40. I don't think we're going to get... We went to uni.
I went to Birmingham, big Jewish mecca of the time.
Yep. You were in America for a bit of uni.
Oh, yes. I went to America for a year. Went to UCLA.
Yep.
Where I... to get into UCLA, because it was so oversubscribed from my programme, I had to sort of really play the Jewish card to get into Jewish studies. And I wrote this personal statement sort of talking about what my Jewish identity meant to me and what an opportunity it would be to sort of study it further. I sent it to my mum. Mum was like, "Are you applying for SEM? Like, what's going on?" And then my non-Jewish friend at uni, who also wanted to go to UCLA, who was like half Italian, was like, "Fuck, why can't I play that card?" Every project I ever did, except one on gibbons, was pretty much like grandpa related. From what age though? We'll have to get quite young, I think. Yeah. We'll get into that another time. Gibbons, I've still got it somewhere. I'll dig it out. Why? I think I might be a hoarder. What I can see here on our notes is that it moves on to first child breastfeeding, and I just don't know why.
We both breastfed exclusively.
Yes, yeah. No, we moved to Manchester. We moved from Manchester to London. We ended up in a very expat Manc crowd.
I was there for like 15 years. You probably similar.
It was
because we basically both ended up with Northerners. I think that was sort of, for many people, the only route back. Yeah. It was like, if you're both from Manchester, then you've got a reason to
it propels you back. A bit. Yeah.
And then we had our second in, so we both now live in
Manchester,
the Shtetl of Hale. Yeah, and we've got 2 kids now who will sort of live in and out of each other's clothes.
And we literally live around the corner from each other as well. Special. It's very special. I do feel like you have become family to us, you know, especially like, you know, I've been through quite a lot, lost quite a few members of my family, and it's been amazing to have you.
Oh, well, you know. The feeling's mutual. And so that's us. What's this podcast going to be?
Well, you approached me about it. This was all your idea, and I was sort of itching for something. It was that it felt right for me to do something that was really positive about being Jewish. I'm not sure if you've read the news, but it doesn't feel so it doesn't feel so great at the moment. for various reasons that we don't need to get into just yet. But I would say it's probably the only time in my life where things have weighed heavily. We've been very privileged in that respect.
Yeah.
Up until now, we were living in a sort of golden age of Jewish diaspora.
Yeah.
And things feel a little bit shaky. And you suggested, let's do something fun and upbeat and explore Jewish culture and community together. And I thought, this sounds ace.
And it's been fun. We've had fun talking about it anyway. Because I think also, like, with all the shit that's going on, I think we got into a pattern of, I'd see you at the bus stop. We'd just kind of unload, like, of everything that we'd been, like, reading, whatever. And it was, we were just talking. I think we were both, well, as so many people were just a bit overwhelmed and just were probably reading too much and ingesting much. So, and it was like, well, let's get back to what we like doing.
Just a sense of Jewish pride. I think what has been shaky for me in the past 18 months or coming at maybe nearly 2 years is I used to bang on about being Jewish all the time. Like I would say Nisht for me and throw Yiddishisms in work meetings and not think twice about it. I've written about being Jewish in the national press.
Yeah.
And now that was, a good decade or 15 years ago now. And things feel so different. And I'm sad about that.
Yeah.
I'm really sad about that. And it weighs heavily. So the idea of doing something that sort of regained that pride and that sense of joy and fun, really.
Well, we'll do lots of different things, hopefully, if we keep it up.
I think we want to make it really clear that obviously Az and I have had very similar upbringings in many ways, and we don't want it to sort of come across as there's only our way of being Jewish, because there are a myriad of different ways of being Jewish in this country, and I'd love to get into that with different people, from all over the country, to explore sort of what British Judaism is and what it means.
There's lots of different experiences, sort of geographically.
Yeah.
The Manchester Jewish experience is quite different to the London Jewish experience, and then they've got like Glasgow and Liverpool and Leeds and lots of other.
And even within different parts of London.
Yeah.
So, to me, a St John's Wood Jew is miles different from a Stanmore Jew.
And the big question is, where do the Leeds boys come from? That's the key. If we can get to the bottom of that, that's a fascinating.
Leeds boys Jews
are an amazing
maybe there's a book in
subgroup. No shade in sub. I mean, like a subgroup, like literally a subgroup. We might interview some people.
Dream interview.
Estelle Shires, of course.
Absolutely.
That feels achievable.
For those who are unaware, and how dare you, Estelle Shires is a kosher baker up in North Manchester who has been making our birthday cakes
for 40 years.
And I've got one ordered for Mikey, my son's 4th birthday.
Blippy?
Not Blippy this year, Mickey Mouse. She's a very talented baker.
Very.
She pipes icing like no one else.
I mean, no disrespect to her, God forbid, but she must be getting on, Estelle.
Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
Because I can't, too much bereavement. Not now.
But no, I mean, we had a joint Estelle Shires cake for our recent 40th.
Was so sweet. It was a surprise for me.
Yeah.
It was Aaron's party on my birthday.
It wasn't a party as such.
Sorry for
it was just a genuine small get together.
Very small, old school friends. He had to have snogged you and then regretted it for you to be invited.
Yeah. But I mean, genuinely, there are pictures in albums, I'm sure, in both of our houses of Estelle Shires cakes throughout the years.
And my husband said that I think he had a Mickey Mouse Estelle Shires cake for his 4th birthday. So, circle of life.
Absolutely. So that's the dream guest.
Yeah.
We figured that we would talk about relationships, Jewish relationships.
Yeah, things you only know if you're married, dating, being ghosted by or ghosting a Jew.
That feels you're good at this. That'd be the journalist, wouldn't you?
I've just been ghosted by many Jew boys over the years. Shall I get them all on?
Yes.
Some unique intricacies of Jewish dating.
And how it impacts and all stuff like that. So that'd be fun.
Shiva House Rules is another one coming up. Professional Shiva sister over here.
You have just come out of another...
beloved Grandma
Shirley.
Oh, Grandma Shirley. Yeah, I've got some excellent material from that, because the thing is about a Shiva house, it always lends itself. My cousins non-Jewish husband did say, is someone writing this down? That's the things I've seen.
It is fascinating. But that's, I think, and we'll get into this, but that is one of the strengths of Shiva, I think, is that it's funny often.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think we've really cracked death.
Yeah.
I think we've nailed that.
Had a lot of practice over the years. But okay, so before we sort of bring this one, this first one to a close, we thought we'd end with a quick round of Nisht for me. So you'll nominate something that is Nisht for you. I'll nominate something. We'll chat about them briefly, and then we'll give them the Nisht for me hechsher and assign. That's like a kosher seal of approval.
Yeah.
So Abs, your Nisht for me for this week is
It's a tish at a wedding. So a tish, I actually don't know what the sort of biblical religious reasons, but it's been a while since I was a regular wedding guest.
Yeah.
But we used to arrive, and Jamie, my husband, used to get dragged off for a drink with the boys.
And a dance occasionally.
And a dance. And he likes neither of those activities. Do you know who does? Me. And we'd be sat there waiting and waiting and waiting. Nobody offering us a little tipple just to wet the whistle.
It does seem unfair. I don't know.
It really feels unfair. We can get into sexism within the Jewish religion, but that's my number one.
But you're, I guess in a very Jewish way, taking against because you can't have it yourself, you're taking against the men having
I don't like that idea of it, one rule for one, and then also the thing about Jewish weddings, maybe it's all weddings, there's a lot of waiting around, isn't there?
Yeah.
And then, but there's like half of the party that's having a party.
I guess as well, it's a hangover probably from like more from times. Like, a really Orthodox wedding, like a really from wedding, men and women would be separated, there'll be separate dancing, separate everything. As time's gone on, things have gotten a little more secular. Men, the bloody man, has just, sort of like kept the fun bits for themselves. But tishes are fun.
But Nisht for me, quite literally,
it's not. Yeah, you're excluded. What the great thing about it that I found later in, so all of our friends basically ended up getting married within like a year of each other.
It was a lot.
And it was most weeks you'd have a wedding. But when you got really good at weddings, it was like, I can take a drink in from the tish, because the chuppah is long. Often, kind of 45 minutes or so can be. And then you're there with a drink and you're a bit loose and you just...
I know. What's your Nisht for you?
My Nish for me is Hagbah. So we've kept them very Jewish this first week.
On brand.
Do you know what Hagbah is?
It's something you do in shul?
Yeah. So it's an aliyah, which an aliyah is like it literally means being called up to the Torah. Really, I don't know what the specific is. That's the Hagbah, yeah. Hagbah is the lift. So an aliyah, you get called to Torah, you often say a bracha, but for Hagbah is the one where you basically have to lift the Torah in the air. They sort of say it should really be 3 columns worth and, show it to the crowd. And it's and they're heavy. And that is the absolute fear. Weirdly, I'm very happy to talk in public, very happy to get on a stage and do an amdram.
Sing and dance.
But weirdly, in shul, any kind of aliyah gives that sense of like, it's like when you're working, even if you're very comfortable around the people you're in, if it's sort of like go around the table and say your name and what you do, that gets the fear in me, like and like proper like nerves.
Oh, I'm kind of pleased to hear that, because I actually thought that was a female thing.
Oh no, I think well, look, I can't speak for others, but I definitely get that. And even though, as a kid, shul attendance prize, I was there a lot. There was always a lack of confidence as to what you were supposed to do in each situation. So I would always be fearful of an aliyah, but Hagbah is just the worst. People judge it. There's some people will showboat, get up there and do like 6 columns, and you're like, twat.
To show off the upper body strength.
Yeah, or just to like some people like to do like a twist thing where they do it if it's on the heavy side, because it's a scroll. Yeah, so some people will cross it. But there's a thing, if you drop it, I think like the punishment is everyone has to fast as well.
Everyone, not just the dropper.
Everyone who's present has to fast.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And like Jews don't like to fast, but like if I get a Hagbah, it's like it's real like panic stations.
Maybe you do deserve a drink at a wedding after all dealing with
Thanks.
all that pressure.
That's exactly. You guys don't know.
We
you
just
weren't
sit
there.
there yachning all the way through.
So there's then Galila, which is sort of like a bit of a. I don't even think you need to be bar mitzvahed to to get Galila, but that's like dressing the Torah after Hagbah, and that's like the safe one. You don't need to say anything. You just need to get the bits. You dress the Torah after, so you put the little belt on it. Yeah, you put the thing on. There's low pressure, and I feel like I've done a lot of Galilas in my time, but I'm comfortable with that.
You've got an eye.
Exactly.
I'm not at Hagbah.
I'm not at Hagbah. No, but my brother-in-law had he's a big lad. He's like 6 foot something. Works out, and he had a girlfriend who, I mean, there's no other way not to mention. Name began with H, so she was known as, what's a name that's not that begins with H? I mean, I've just
Hetty,
Hagbah Hetty, not Hagbah. That's what we call, because she used to say that one of the things she looked for in a future partner was someone who could do a good Hagbah. And I felt very emasculated by this. They're no longer together, not due to any Hagbah fault on his part.
He didn't drop it.
Did
he drop her?
Maybe. But I think it was mutual. But yeah.
Wow, that is a niche prerequisite.
So I guess that brings us to the end.
Yep.
Again, this is something that's entered into our lexicon from a friend of ours, but Ein Kalaheinu Adon Olam, because that's the end of the shul service.
Talis bags away,
pod.
Ian Tussey special.
Absolutely.
There'll be a few phrases that Ian Tussey has invented.
Yeah.
That will pepper the show.
I did once send a message to a girl that I liked, who I only ever seem to see in shul, and I sort of said to her, like, look, do you want to maybe go for a drink or something? We're in danger of Adon Olam becoming our song. And that was Nish reference.
Did she accept?
I think we went for a drink. It didn't
how
really
could
go
you
anywhere.
refuse that?
Oh yeah, at
What
the
an
kiddish
opening
though.
line.
Just not outside of shul.
Over a couple of shots
It's
of
a safe zone, yeah. But yeah, look, if you've enjoyed it, spread the word. Like, subscribe. People say things like that. Tell your friends, family, and hopefully we'll do more of them.
Lovely.
Great.
Baruch Hashem.
Indeed.